Meeting of the Brooklyn City Council to order. Mary Jo, if you could do the roll call, please.
Ron Van Kirk.
Here.
Kathy Pucci. Here. Mary Belbeer.
Here.
Kevin Tansky.
Absent, excused.
Andy Selhertz.
Here.
Katie Gallagher.
Here.
Tony DeMarco.
Here.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Okay. Last year, Councilman Selhertz started a Halloween decorating contest. So last Wednesday, a group of people went out to pick the best decorated houses. So I'm going to turn it over to him so he can announce the winners.
Hello. We started a contest last year, as Katie mentioned, just to try to get a little bit more community spirit and involvement in the whole community involved into this. Some of the winners from last year actually did a really nice, good job, and they could have even won this year, but we try to spread out the wealth a little bit. The committee, instead of trying to do most scariest, most this, most that, we just came up with 4 really good home displays for Halloween season. The first one we'd like to recognize is Robin Kniss at 4812 Southwood. It was a house had like little cat eyes on it. You know, kind of a display. It was just cute. It was really nice. So, Robin. Thanks.
Still going, huh? Thank you.
Reese's.
Thank you.
I won't give it to you.
Oh, no.
Next house we'd like to recognize is actually on Summer Lane at 4784. It's with Mark Kitchen. Mark's a previous winner in the Christmas display contest as well. Another individual is Lisa Ward at 4357 Rockland. Had the pleasure of talking to her husband, found out that she's kind of carrying on a tradition from her mother-in-law with all the home decorations, so thank you.
Thank you.
And back a little bit more into a different neighborhood. Norm and Barb Copland at 6125 Delora. They're always having nice Christmas displays. They also do a nice job on Halloween. They're not available to be here tonight, but we'll make sure that they get their recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Just want to remind everybody that Wednesday is Veterans Day, so think of that, but also just know that the city buildings are closed. City Hall and Service Garage, the Recreation Center is open. Rubbish collection for today and tomorrow are normal, but Wednesday and Thursday they'll be one day late, and there's no special pickups on Friday. We'll now proceed with our regular council meeting. Tonight, council has a letter to confirm Tom Kelly is the new acting law director. Mr. Kelly is currently the law director out in North Royalton and will be helping us about 8 to 12 hours per week at a rate of $150 per hour. We also have a change order from Civil and Environmental Consultants for landfill closure. This ends up back and forth being a credit of $83,463. We have a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with the District Board of Health, Cuyahoga County, for health services in 2016 in a total amount of $43,782. This is the same price from 2014 and 2015. This is mandated under Chapter 3709 of the Ohio Revised Code. We have ordinance to adopt Chapter 182, the income tax, January 1st, 2016 of the codified ordinances. In December of 2015, House Bill 5 was passed in the General Assembly requiring certain municipal income tax mandates to be enacted by January 1st, 2016. We are going to hold this in abeyance tonight. An ordinance amending the non-bargaining list, adding part-time law enforcement clerk from the original ordinance of 61. This position is not eligible for overtime, comp time, health care, sick, or vacation time. An ordinance authorizing the sale of certain city-owned vehicles through Greater Cleveland Auto Auction, including a 2000 salt truck, a mechanics truck, and a 1994 Recreation Center pickup truck. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with James Zepka, CPA, to help prepare the comprehensive annual finance report for 2015, 2016, and 2017. The cost of 2015 is $17,290, $16,560 for 2016, and $16,275 for 2017. An ordinance accepting the medical insurance renewal from Medical Mutual of Ohio from December 1st, 2015 to November 30th, 2016. The total annual premium is $1,548,663. This is actually $483 less than last year. Next, we have an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an energy agreement. Let's pull this up. With Gutman Energy. This is a 2-year agreement, and this will be for the Recreation Center at 5.340 cents per kilowatt hour. Next, we have an ordinance authorizing the purchase of a Honda Rancher 420e ATV and accessories in the amount of $8,323.85 for the Recreation Department. At this time, we'll have public session. If anyone from the audience has anything for the good and welfare of the City of Brooklyn, please step forward, state your name, address, including city, and please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less.
Good evening. My name's Lou Changari. I live at 8972 Trail Run Drive. The reason I'm up here is to remind everyone that Wednesday, November 11th, is Veterans Day. So thank a vet. To the Vietnam vets, say welcome home, because these vets never got a proper welcome home. And some of us remember all the stuff that they went through. And November is also Veterans Month to show our appreciation. And those of you who go online, you'll notice that they're asking all the people to shine a green light. In other words, put it in on your porch light, put a green light on and shine your green light to show that you appreciate the vets. And that's to show these vets and all the vets from World War II through the present day that they are really appreciated. Also, fly the American flag, folks. Let's get it up there. Let's show people around the world that America is still as strong as it was back then, and it should be in the future. And to all the vets, I salute you. And to all the non-vets, welcome home, brother. Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything for the good and welfare of the City of Brooklyn? Okay, we'll move on to reports of committees, commissions, and boards. And first up is our Finance Committee Chair, Councilwoman Pucci.
Thank you. Good evening. The Finance Committee met earlier this evening at 6:30, and I'll avoid being redundant from what Ms. Gallagher already reported. I will add, though, that with the change orders to our landfill closure project, that right now we've got a current estimate that the total cost will be approximately $3.5 million. And you'll recall that we have money put aside in a landfill closure trust fund that we've been putting money in for a long time. So none of that will come out of the general fund. Also, regarding ordinance 2015-65, which is, 2015-60, which is adopting new Chapter 182 for our income tax. The reason we're going to hold that in abeyance is Mr. Kelly's advised us that in case Rita comes up with any other changes, that this way we can incorporate them and just pass it once in lieu of adopting it this evening and then having to amend that legislation. And ordinance 2015-65, we will also be holding in abeyance. This is the proposed contract with Zupka CPA Incorporated to provide services for our CAFR. And our finance director is not here this evening. We were waiting for him to get back to us on whether or not we would have an out from this 3-year contract if we chose to do so. One other item is we are going to be starting the budget process, so we're hoping to get everybody's schedules together this week so that we can schedule our first budget meeting for 2016 sometime next week. And when we do schedule that, that will be posted publicly. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is legislative update. Councilwoman Balbier.
Thank you. I'd just like to recap some of the issues of last week's election. Issue 1 passed overwhelmingly 78 to 22%. This changes the makeup of the apportionment board, which draws the map for state districts. Many view the current system as giving one party too much control to tailor the districts to its advantage. Both Republicans and Democrats say the amendment will lead to a fairer process of drawing state legislative districts so as to not favor one party over another. Issue 2 passed by roughly 51 to 49%. Basically, this prohibits any petitioner from using the Ohio Constitution to grant a monopoly for their exclusive financial benefit or to establish a preferable tax status. This sort of went hand in hand with Issue 3, the marijuana issue. Issue 3 basically would have legalized marijuana by giving 10 particular groups exclusive rights to grow and sell it wholesale. The issue was soundly defeated by a 60 to 40 margin. Pretty much all law enforcement and educational organizations have opposed it. Issue 6 was the additional tax for purposes of funding Polaris. I believe that it was their first request in 30 years and it failed. We'll just have to see what effect it has on Polaris. Issue 8, the arts and culture issue, overwhelmingly passed by a 3-to-1 margin. This involved extending an excise tax on cigarettes and ensures that this money will continue to be available for the benefit of arts and culture in Cuyahoga County. Finally, there are constantly having bills that are coming in and out of the House and Senate. One that caught my eye was House Bill 244, which passed 88 to 0. This is declaring November 11th for the Armed Services, Peace Officers, First Responder, and Dual Service Recognition Day. The purpose of this bill is to honor those individuals who have served in the military and are also a first responder. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Board of Zoning Appeals, Building Commissioner Kolsar.
Thank you. The next Board of Zoning Appeals meeting has been canceled. It was scheduled for November 19th. The meeting for December will be December 17th, and that's here at City Hall Conference Room, 6 o'clock. Thank you. That concludes my report.
On Thursday, November 5th at 6 p.m., the Planning Commission met and passed a request from All Signs and Designs to install a freestanding illuminated mount sign for business identification of Aero International located at 9900 Clinton Road, permanent parcel 431010004. Next up, School Board Liaison, Councilman Selhertz, and Public Works Committee, Councilman Selhertz.
Thank you. Tonight we had a Public Works meeting to discuss the Honda ATV, which you heard about, and also the need for radios for the service department vehicles. Mr. Verba informed us that there are a number of vehicles that are missing radios and some that need to be upgraded. He'll get us some more figures and details by the next council meeting. Approximate cost $70,000 to $73,000. By the next council meeting also, we plan to have from Mr. Courtney our 2016 Streets program, a rough draft of it to be presented to council so we can start working it into our budget process. And that concludes my Public Works report. For the school report, Brooklyn City Board of Education held a special meeting on Monday, November 2nd, 2015 at 6 p.m. The work session agenda was the following: review bond issue and scope of work, identify current balance of other projects, share emerging facilities issues, share previously other discussed projects, identify other possibilities of use of contingency dollars, and discuss how we want to prioritize these items. Mr. Hopkins gave us a quick financial recap of the bond issue. The school improvement bond from the 2013 September sale, it generated $25,999,984.05. Interest earned through October 31st was $72,880.26 for total revenue of $26,072,864.31. Of that, $961,000 went to stadium renovations, a little bit over $21 million went into the pre-K through 7 building, $786,923 went into demo of Rodone and Brookridge, $2,389,678.38 went into non-construction costs, $200,000 went into technology upgrades. There is still $300,000 for other projects and $387,219.59 for non-construction contingency. Reminder, this was just a work session for the school board where there was also audience participation. Rodone abatement was to be completed within this past week, and demolitions should be starting within the next few days. Then they'll move on to Brookridge. In regards to the non-construction costs, they included attorney fees, cost for the owner agent, newspaper advertising, permits, engineering, architect's fees, etc. Work on the auditorium repairs should be completed within the next 2 to 3 weeks. With the remaining $687,000 in dollars of money available from the bond, here's some of the possible projects they talked about. Stage rigging and curtains, $125,000 to $130,000. Refinish the terrazzo floors, $80,000. Second floor lockers, $35,000. A football practice field, $20,000. A girls softball field, $300,000. Also brought up by Dr. Glykoff was the fact that the roof on the high school itself is approximately 20 years old, which is the point of where its life expectancy is nearing a conclusion. Repairs were done a number of years ago, cost roughly $100,000. The cost of a new roof would be $1 million. These and other items were discussed by the board and the audience. Upcoming events. Excuse me. The Brooklyn High School Hurricane Dance and Flag Line presents Polar Express Friday, December 11th from 6 to 9 p.m. It'll be at the Brooklyn Elementary Gym and Cafeteria. Drop-off at 6 p.m. and pickup is from 8:30 to 9 p.m. Kids preschool through 3rd grade will enjoy a fun night of Polar Express activities. You will enjoy a stress-free night out for last-minute Christmas shopping or a quiet meal. Cost $20 per child. Families with multiple children, $35 for 2, and for each $10 for each additional child in the same family. Registration will be accepted the night of the event. Payments will be accepted in cash or check payable to Brooklyn Music Boosters. Proceeds benefit the Brooklyn High School Hurricane Dance and Flag Line. Also, the Brooklyn hockey team will be playing at the Q on Thursday, December 3rd. Game time is 4 p.m. The Monsters game starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are $12 through flash seats. Brooklyn versus Elyria Catholic. To get tickets, you'll need to use the website. It's groups.theqarena.com. And if you have any questions, please call David Atkin with the Monsters at 216-420-2519. Also to announce, Oliver is coming to Brooklyn this coming spring as the musical production of the Arts and Music Departments. Please check the school website for all sports schedules of upcoming basketball games, wrestling tournaments, etc. Next board meeting is Tuesday, November 17th in room 173 at the high school at 6 p.m. Public is welcome and encouraged to attend as your school system for your children. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll move on to reports from council. First up tonight is Mr. Van Kirk.
Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. I just want to take a moment to thank everyone for coming out to vote last Tuesday. It was an absolutely beautiful day, very shocking for the month of November. I also want to apologize to the residents who their voting location was at the high school. I know there was some confusion as to where to go, and I've already contacted the Board of Elections, and to make sure that doesn't happen next time, the location got moved, obviously, because the building where we used to vote no longer exists, and so it got moved to the other side, so I apologize for that. I also want to congratulate those that won election. I want to congratulate Barb Politsky. I think she's behind the podium. I can't really see her, but welcome to council. We'll be glad to have you on council. We're looking forward to working with you next year. I also want to congratulate Mr. DeMarco on getting reelected, and I want to thank the residents for supporting me as well. I also want to congratulate Ms. Gallagher on her election to mayor, and look forward to working with her here on council. And also, in regards to what Mrs. Balbier said about issue 3, I want to thank the residents of all the state of Ohio for voting that down. I spoke up at the previous council meeting and talked about what a bad deal this was for the state of Ohio, when people saw right through the, as I like the term, crony capitalism that was issue 3. And there is a House bill right now, House Bill 33, that's in the House right now that will legalize medicinal marijuana. I know there are some good purposes. Some of the commercials that came out for this issue 3 talked about it does help those that are battling with seizures. And so there is a House Bill 33 right now that hopefully they're trying to get through the legislature so the governor can sign, so the good parts that come out of marijuana can be used here in the state of Ohio. And I want to also thank those that did run for office. It's not easy going out a lot and knocking on doors and speaking to people. I enjoy the campaigning and talking to the residents, and obviously not everyone can win, especially when there's only a certain number of seats, but I want to thank those that did go out for a good race. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Mrs. Pucci.
Thank you. First, I'd like to welcome Mr. Kelly as our acting law director. We appreciate your willingness to assist us. And I'd like to thank Mr. Verba for his time. About a week or so ago, I was able to go down to the landfill to see where we are in the process of the closure. If anyone had seen the landfill prior to this, it does look very different. The contractors that we have down there are working extremely efficiently, and we are on schedule, so this project will be finished by the end of the year. I also had an opportunity to see our new V-Hook truck in action. This is the multi-purpose vehicle, and right now it's being used for leaf collection. The advantages to it is that it's completely automated, and we only need one person who's the driver-operator to both drive and work the hose to collect the leaves. And I'd like to thank Mr. Selhertz for his suggestion on this type of vehicle. This is one of the ways that we've been preparing for the future. We have less people than we had initially down at the garage, and any opportunity where we can use technology and new processes to work more efficiently helps us. And I would like to also congratulate the winners of the election and thank everyone who ran. I would personally like to thank all the residents who supported me, who shared their concerns about our community, and were so welcoming and gracious. Many people, invited me into their homes, and I really appreciate it. We have wonderful residents who care deeply about our city, and I will continue, as I have, working very hard for the betterment of our community. And finally, I'd like to wish veterans a happy Veterans Day this Wednesday, and encourage everyone to find some way to show their appreciation to a veteran. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Mrs. Balbier.
Thank you. Veterans Day has always been a special day, holiday for me. My father was a veteran. My husband is a veteran. And if you know anyone that's a veteran, it's always nice to say thank you. I do know there's a lot of restaurants out there and a lot of places that offer discounts, so, it's nice that these veterans can take advantage of them. I always like to keep them in my prayers. Also, I'd like to mention, it may have been out there for a while, but I just recently found out about it. It's called the Checkup Call Assurance Program. And this is a program where it's for people or residents that, let's say, live alone, could be actually have disabilities, handicap, whatever, elderly, where the checkup call it's a service that provides an automated phone call to residents that need to be checked upon. And I talked a little bit earlier with Chief Melky, and maybe you can kind of explain it better to the residents. I think it's a fabulous program. In fact, on the campaign trail, I met a couple elderly people that I think would be wonderful candidates for this. So, thank you. Could you mention it?
We call it the Are You OK program. You get an automated phone call. You enroll with the police department. You get an automated phone call once a day at a time that you choose. It could be it's for the elderly residents that live alone. As long as that resident picks up the phone, hits the button that's instructed, the computer logs it as a good call. If for some reason you can't get to the phone or maybe they're not okay at that time, it'll try again, and once it doesn't try, then it'll turn around and call the police department and let us know that the computer wasn't able to get a hold of you. We send a police officer over to your house to check on you. So it has come in handy over the years. We've had this program in place for well over 10 years, and residents love it. So if you want to enroll, you call the police department Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Talk to the clerk, and she'll get you all enrolled and explain the program for you. So.
Okay, thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Selhertz.
Thank you. Wednesday, November 11th, you heard, is Veterans Day. Please take the time to display your flag if you have one. Talking about time, thank you to all those that took the time to vote, be it by mail or in person. Did you try to make a difference in this community by voting? Thank you. Congratulations to the various winners in all the races. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. Also, thank you to Mr. Verba. On a lighter note, had an opportunity to spend career day with the high school and the junior high people over at Brooklyn, along with Chief Zemek and several of his people and one officer from a police department. It was career day. We spent a couple hours in the morning going over career paths and everything, and we spent a couple hours in the afternoon community service time. So we try to clean up Knights Commons over at Ridge and Biddulph. So thank you to Mr. Verba for having his crews come up with the vacuum truck afterwards. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. DeMarco.
I would like to obviously thank all of the residents that came out on Election Day, and in particular those residents that supported my re-election bid. I very much appreciate it, and frankly I'm humbled by it. And also I would like to wish all the veterans a happy Veterans Day, and in particular my father, who's a Korean war veteran, and that's all I have.
Thank you. I'd first like to start off by thanking everybody for your support in choosing me as your next mayor. I'm honored and humbled that you put the trust and confidence in me to lead the city forward. I'm looking forward to working with all the directors, city council, residents, and employees to make a better Brooklyn. I'd like to also congratulate all the other winners. And I also like to just recognize some of the contributions of Mr. Selhertz. I know he wasn't a victor in this last election, but he has put a lot of time and energy into the city over the last year and a half. You know, Kathy mentioned the V-hook. That was his idea. He's constantly trying to improve the service department with different ways of being more efficient. Halloween contest is a prime example of how he's tried to help with bring community events and things. So I just want to thank you for all the things that you've done on City Council so far. I want to remind everybody that the city is still collecting goods for Thanksgiving up until November 20th. You could drop off any Thanksgiving-related items to City Hall between 8 and 4 p.m. Also, the mayor sent council an update on the cable TV for the council meetings. Right now, we're scheduled in the middle of January to have AT&T U-verse up and running. Time Warner Cable and WOW are still an unknown thing right now, so as soon as we know more, we'll announce it. The council meetings are still always available on the internet if you go to the city's website. And lastly, I'd like to thank all the veterans out there. I'll move on to the mayor's report.
Thank you. I also would like to congratulate all the winners in last week's election. Katie Gallagher as mayor, Ron Van Kirk, Tony DeMarco, and Barbara Politsky to the City Council. Welcome. I've hired Thomas Kelly as our part-time law director till the end of the year, He comes highly recommended. Everyone I talked to says we were very lucky that to get him. He works as law director for North Royalton at the present time, and I hope council confirms him this evening. Also, I want you to remember about the parking ban. A lot of people have been getting tickets. There's no parking from 2 a.m. till 7 a.m. from November 1st till April 1st, or when 2 inches of snow falls. So please pay attention to that. Also, there was an article in the Plain Dealer the other day, and it was unfavorable towards our police department. Unfortunately, half of it was wrong. And the chief wrote a nice letter that he sent to the Plain Dealer. They said there were 9 policemen on the scene. There was only 5 policemen working. So that part was wrong. The chief offered the reporter time to come in and listen to the tapes, and they didn't follow up on it. Cleveland had entered a car in the computer that said it was stolen and was used in an armed robbery. So our policemen stopped it naturally, and they had their weapons out, which they should. And they delayed the man for 15 minutes, and when they found that Cleveland had entered the car wrong, they released him. No one was hurt, and it was a total of 15 minutes. But it was written completely against the police department, and that's unfair. They didn't do anything wrong. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on to director's reports. The only one we have tonight is our recreation manager, Maria McGinty.
Good evening. The John M. Corn Recreation Center would like to wish the best of luck to all the participants that will be competing in the 2015 Autumn Skills Competition this Saturday, November 14th. And this will be hosted by the Brooklyn Figure Skating Club. If anybody would like to watch some of the competition, it will be held from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it's free of charge. The Recreation Department is still taking registration for our Learn to Skate winter program. For more information, please contact the Recreation Department at 216-351-5334. And as Katie had said about the donations for food, the Brooklyn Rec Center is also collecting them during business hours. So if you want to stop up at the Rec Center, you can drop them off there. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, first up tonight, we have council confirmation of the acting law director, Tom Kelly.
Move to approve Mr. Kelly as our acting law director.
Second.
To confirm the appointment, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Next, we have a request to approve change orders relating to the landfill closure project.
Move to approve.
Second.
To approve, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Moving on to legislation, Resolution 2015-10, authorizing the mayor to enter into contract with the District Board of Health of Cuyahoga County for health services for the year 2016.
Move to adopt.
Second.
To adopt, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-60, to adopt new Chapter 182 income tax, January 1st, 2016, of the codified ordinances of the City of Brooklyn, Ohio.
Move to hold in abeyance until our next meeting.
Second.
To hold in abeyance, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-62, amending Ordinance 2015-38, providing for the compensation for the part-time, full-time, and administrative employees non-bargaining agreement of the City of Brooklyn, Ohio. We amended this to remove the senior center employees from this list. And as I said before, we're adding the part-time service clerk to this between a rate of $16.43 an hour and $18 to 25 cents an hour. And this was from ordinance 2015-61. And this is on second reading as amended. Ordinance 2015-63, authorizing the sale of certain city-owned vehicles through Greater Cleveland Auto Auction Public Auctioneers for the purpose of disposing of city vehicles at public sale. This is on second reading. Ordinance 2015-64, accepting the medical insurance renewal from Medical Mutual of Ohio, providing for medical insurance coverage for eligible employees from December 1st, 2015 to November 30th, 2016.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
To adopt, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-65, formerly Resolution 2015-9, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with James G. Zepka CPA to provide services to the city of Brooklyn.
Move to hold in abeyance until our next meeting.
Second.
To hold in abeyance, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ordinance 2016-66, authorizing the mayor to enter in a contract with Gutman Energy, as supplier of electric energy for the John M. Coyne Recreation Center and Auditorium.
I move that we amend in the title that we add Gutman Energy, and in the second whereas that we strike 3 years and insert 24 months, and also insert Gutman Energy. And in section 1, that we strike 3 years and insert 24 months, and also add Gutman Energy. And then in the last line of section 1, that we insert 5.340 cents per kilowatt hour.
Second.
To amend, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules as amended.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
To adopt as amended, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Last up is ordinance 2016-67, authorizing and approving the purchase of one Honda Rancher 420 EATV and accessories for the Brooklyn Recreation Department. Again, that's an amount of $8,323.85, and this is on first reading. Tonight, we're going to go into executive session for two purposes. When we come back, we're not going to make any decisions, but we're going to go in for executive session on the sale of possible public land, and in that will be the mayor, our law director, and our economic development director. And also the mayor would like to discuss union negotiations.
May we recognize very briefly?
Yes.
Gallagher. Just one thing on the 2016-66 for the electricity. The reason we had to pass this tonight by emergency as opposed to going through the readings is because those rates are only good for 24 hours. And so tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. these rates will expire, and so we have to pass it tonight in order for them to go into effect.
I move that we go into executive session for two purposes. First, for the potential sale of public lands with the mayor, economic development director, and our law director. And secondly, regarding labor negotiations with the mayor and our law director.
Second.
To adjourn to executive session, Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
My wife just texted me.